Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. Today's video is about really getting your pepper plants outside when the temperatures are too cold. Frost is still in the air. Going to use my Sunken cold frame. If you look inside here, you see these beautiful pots. They were supposed to be peppers that I overwintered. The depth is 12 inches deep. That gets you down deeper into the earth. It really stays warm in here. It's not warm enough for my peppers to overwinter. Probably have to go down about 18 inches. And the idea is with the cold frame closed, temperatures in here stay well above freezing. I can overwinter my pepper plants. That experiment failed. But for the last couple of years, I will grow peppers starting in January. These are about 11, 12 weeks old. They're really large. They're flopping over. They've been inside. They're flowering. Tried to get these acclimated to the outdoors, sunburn them a little bit. These are big peppers. I'm going to put them into about gallon, 2-gallon containers, drop them in here. It's the end of March. They will sit in here 4 or 5 weeks before they can really go out here because it's too cold. But they're going to develop beautiful root systems. They may get beat up, they may not look beautiful, but because of these really nice root systems, when I put them out into my garden come first week of May, they're going to take off and I'm going to get peppers a lot earlier. So I wanted to show you the process. So the first thing is any cold frame. This is by, I think, the Jewel Company. I got these from Costco online years back. South is this way, so I get the southern sun coming in here. Dug down 12 inches, removed all the soil, and then I just framed it out with some maybe 6-inch boards. Yeah, because 6 and 6 is 12. It's 12 inches deep. Just framed it out, and I will drop the peppers in there. I'll show you the whole process. You can tell this is working, even though my peppers didn't overwinter, because January just gets too cold here. Look at all the weed growth. I mean, they're massive. So the warmth is definitely there. All right, so now let's go set these up in pots, and then I'll just show you the basic setup here. These are just going to sit in here 5 weeks, establish roots, grow a little bit. I'll have peppers sooner to the table this year because these are going to be ready to go into the ground with massive root systems. This space is 30 inches by 5 feet, 12 inches down, perfect here in Maryland Zone 7 to keep a nice warm climate in here from really March 1st, you know, all the way through until I get them out into the ground somewhere. The reason I like this, I'm going to stress again, it's about the root system. I want nice roots to develop. Put them out in a garden, say May 1st, the plant's going to take off. If I took my plants that you see me, potting up now, put them out into my main garden, I could protect them from frost, but they're just going to sit there. The root systems aren't going to grow. The soil's too cold. They'll survive, but they're not going to grow like they're going to grow in here. And just to take a look, again, that's about 12 inches deep. You could go deeper. Don't go past 18 inches because it's really hard to get in and out. And you can really bring out your warm weather crops and let them establish out here. The peppers, in some cases I have 1 pepper plant per cell. I sell these larger cells. Oh look, and I just broke the top off. That's fine, we'll just get rid of it. I am just looking for a root system to grow. The rest of the growth will take off when the plants go out into the earth. These are larger containers. I sell them at my seed shop. They're perfect because I can hold pepper plants in here for a good 10 weeks, 12 weeks before they have to get potted up. They're going into containers. They're not even a gallon size. This is like exactly 3.5 quarts. This one's 3 quarts. So something about that size. Soil wise, it can be whatever you want. I just have a mix of leaf grow, potting mix, earth from, digging up perennial beds and stuff like that. You just want something that's going to hold moisture a bit, but you just really need any soil. We're not fertilizing this with anything. We're just getting them outside, letting the roots grow. I'm going to water it in with a water-soluble fertilizer and let these go. I just want to cut in real quick. This video was shot the day after the original part of this video was shot. You can see some condensation on the underside of the top. You only have to water the pepper plants about every 7 to 14 days, depending on how warm the days are. So just keep an eye on them. You don't need to overwater them. A little bit of damage on the leaves from when I was trying to acclimate them earlier this week. We had a frost roll in last night. There is no damage at all to the pepper plants. It did exactly what I've been talking about. We had water freeze that was in the wheelbarrow, so the frost was pretty significant. But the peppers are perfectly safe in here. Some other things too I want to point out is you want to just make sure that you make the frame nice and level so that the cold frame sits on the wood and there's no gaps. Even if there are a couple of gaps, it's still going to work because of the heat coming up from the earth. Level as you can, and then I just put a couple screws in the side to keep the cold frame from shifting left to right. This is probably year 3, maybe 4 that I set this up, and it really works well. You can use it for growing any kind of plant, and you can really add weeks onto growing large transplants for your garden. Again, 12 inches deep, 18 inches in colder areas. This works extremely well. And again, nothing fancy. Peppers are in the containers. If you can get a gallon container, that's probably best. You're just going to loosen up the root ball. It's not really even that coiled, which is great. And I'm just going to plant these to maybe 1/2 inch above the level of the soil there. Let me dig this out a little bit. Just drop it in. Add in some more soil. And these are really good to go. They're going to get watered in with a water-soluble fertilizer. This one I actually topped off for an experiment for a video, and it's creating this beautiful Y shape. But you're really not worried about the upper growth. Sometimes the leaves get beat up, they fall off, new leaves come out. The whole goal, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I could have probably put these in 2 weeks ago, 6, 7 weeks, in that sunken cold frame. Nice massive root systems. When you get outside, the greenery takes off and you're going to get your peppers earlier to the table. Some of you may be wondering, why doesn't he just use his greenhouse? The greenhouse is above the ground, so nothing helps regulate the temperature. When the temperatures drop, within a degree or so, that greenhouse matches the external temperature. So when a frost comes, or in March when it gets into the upper 20s, low 30s, everything in there freezes. There's nothing to regulate the temperature because it's unheated. When you come into here, the science behind it is as you dig deep into the earth, the temperature stays regulated. So the warmth of the earth, just 12 inches down, helps keep this above freezing. And again, with the cold frame over it, it heats up, holds the heat. It regulates if the temperatures get too hot, like maybe, on an 80-degree day, you definitely want to open this up. But if it gets into the 70s, the sun's beaming in, the earth also keeps it cooler so it doesn't overheat in there. And then when it gets colder, the earth, 12 inches down, helps keep it warmer. The whole goal is keeping the roots warm. In the greenhouse, the root systems are going to get down to 30 degrees, 35 degrees, 40 degrees, whatever the matching temperature is. In here, it's going to stay in the upper 40s, upper 50s, warm up into the 60s at times, and these plants are going to really take off and do wonderfully. I have enough room to add in some tomato plants. I'm going to do this with the cherry tomatoes. If you want to subscribe and follow me, I'll show you how I get these into the garden. May even put some eggplant in here. If you have time, this is a great project. Build a sunken cold frame. And if you want to learn more about growing 2 pepper plants in one space, check out the linked video, growing 2 pepper plants in a sunken container garden. You can really double your production by just putting 2 plants in one basic planting hole. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com and think about building a sunken cold frame. You can really, in some cases, overwinter crops, and then in this case, get these out really early and let them develop in the sunken container. Thanks so much for watching.